I don't know how many times you're going to ask the question in a different sort of way or anything else, but I'm contracted till next year and I'm staying here.
What has happened now with this decision is that Clarko's moral obligation to Hawthorn is now broken because Hawthorn have broken it.
It's a bold decision is what it is. Knowing you're giving up the best coach of the modern era, who I think still has plenty of currency, gee, you're placing a lot of faith and pressure on Sam Mitchell.
Is there another code in the world that would do this? That would sack a guy that's the finished product? He's the best we've got. He's the best we've seen. In my lifetime, he's the best coach I've seen. You're taking a risk on moving that guy on.
I can't see it work as being together. Alastair, we know, is very stubborn, single-minded, and I think Sam Mitchell's the same.
I'm 100% confident he will be coach at the final siren of round 22 in 2022.
If I was any other club, I'd be going a million miles an hour straight at Alastair. There's no ifs, buts, maybe.
Yes, it was the footy story of the year, broken last week, and it seemed everybody in football had their say. We weren't on air before it broke, Gary, so give me your thoughts. Personally, I'm with Dermot Brereton the whole way. I cannot see Clarko breaking that contract.
Snap, if he's there, Hawthorn will be walking him out of the joint. And that's a brave thing to do for the coach of the modern era.
But everywhere I go, there's a journalist trying to tell me that he's about to be punted, that the people at Hawthorn don't like him. And one of those joins is Tom Morris. Welcome to you. You're not of the same view as us.
No, I think Alastair Clarkson will be there next year, Jared. But what I do know, and what I can tell you tonight, is that Hawthorn don't want him to be there next year. Their preference is for Alastair Clarkson to find another job in 2022. But clearly that's a $1 million decision if they're going to make that. So the transition period that will happen with Sam Mitchell and Alastair Clarkson, there's a lot of uncertainty internally as to exactly how this is going to work out. And I'm not speaking to the boot starter. I'm not speaking to people around the club. This is people high up at the football club who have a strong preference for Clarkson to leave now and for Mitchell to take over next year. Clearly, financially, at the moment, that's implausible. So if he does stay true to his word and ignore Collingwood and Carlton and other clubs that are knocking the door down, there is widespread uncertainty exactly how this Mitchell-Clarkson transition will work.
What's the uncertainty, Tom? I heard Alastair Clarkson say in his various talks on this last week that he'll be the coach. There'll be no uncertainty about that fact, that Sam Mitchell will be the assistant coach. He'll coach 2022 and Sam will take over at the end of it.
Yeah, players don't feel that way and other staff members at the club don't feel that way at all. And also the board is apprehensive about this. Given
done a pretty good job of getting his message across over the last 20 years.
Absolutely, Gary, but this is a situation where the club is likely going to be towards the bottom of the table and, in essence, be looking forward to the future while having Alastair Clarkson looking at the present. And I can't say it, I'm not saying it can't work, I'm just saying that people at Hawthorn are very apprehensive that it will work, and that's been the case for the last week or so. And the other thing I've got to report tonight as well is that Collingwood, via a third party, has reached out to Damien Hardwick just to see if he'd be interested in having a discussion about the Collingwood senior coaching job. That third party is connected to the AFL Coaches Association. At the moment, the answer is no. But what it does show is that Collingwood is casting the net wide to find their new coach, whether it's an assistant in another club or even Damien Hardwick or Alastair Clarkson.
I think that's called due diligence. Tom, thanks for that. Rui, if I'm Sam Mitchell, I hope Clarko stays for one more year because I get 2 more drafts to accumulate some kids that can help me rebound into being a successful coach quicker.
Yeah, I can see a situation where it would create confusion for young kids, though, in knowing that the assistant coach is going to become the senior coach. I think for young kids trying to learn the ropes and understand the dynamics of a football club, that could pose an awkward situation for them. Rodney Eade's comments were the ones that really resonated with me. I think if you are derelict in your duty, or all the other clubs in the competition, I don't care whether you think your incumbent's doing the best job of all time. If you are not making that phone call and going as hard as you possibly can to try and prize him out next year, and Clarko's a man of wonderful integrity. I've had limited exposure. He coached me in international rules, but an extraordinary man. I would still be going as hard as I possibly could to entice him out.
What do new presidents want to do when they take over? They want to make a big splash early. They want to have an impact. Luke Sayers, new president Carlton, he'd be asking the question. If Jeff Brown gets in, he'll be wanting to land the big fish, which is Clarkson as well. For me, it's the audience, the players. How do the players take it? Yep. Yes, it might work and they might be amicable and get through the whole year next year, but, geez, I'm not sure how the Hawthorn players as well. They sense it. They sense there's a disconnect there. That's my concern.
I think we'll come
I'm
back
not
to it,
saying
Gary.
it's not
There's
gonna
plenty
go.
of chapters left in this book.
Yeah, but you say the players handle it well. No, there's not doubting Alastair Clarkson and Sam Mitchell's talents.
What's
But
the
we've-
confusion for the players?
Well,
They can look up and they go, there's the best coach of the modern era, he's my coach. What's
and
confusing?
Sam Mitchell's the following year, and they're getting asked about it everywhere they
that's
go.
all right.
Yeah,
Sam
yeah,
Mitchell's
the
gonna
confusion
take over.
lies in there's the best coach of the modern era, but my club's just finished
Sacked him.
That's all right, but he's accepted it, and he's going to front up.
But that's not confusing for
No,
a
but
player.
don't you reckon he'd be able to communicate that to the playing group?
But whose
it's
game
not up to
plan?
him to communicate
Whose
it.
game plan is it though?
Whose is
he
it?
gonna-
Whose is it now?
Well, it's Alastair Clarkson's.
And?
But who's
And?
it going? Well, it's going to be a transition. So we're just going a
but
full
did you
game
hear
style of.
Clarkson spoke through the week. He said, "I'll be coaching this team next year."
Yep.
Seemed to work all right for Paul Roos and John Longmire.
Yeah, no, but there's a difference, mate. There's a difference. The head coach wants to stand down off his own bat when that has worked. Alastair Clarkson didn't want to stand
I know,
down.
but Clarko has acknowledged that.
He's
and he
100%
said, I'll be
accepted
here
what's
for
going
12
on.
months.